Race 1 at Randwick on Saturday, a fillies and mares benchmark 88 over the 1200 metres. In a race where there looks a lot of speed, I'm happy to back Miss Steed here for Team Snowden. Tommy Berry takes the ride. Barrier 2 I think is a massive plus for this mare. She'll be able to sit just back off behind the pace, and if she gets a split at the top of the straight, she's got a devastating turn of foot. We didn't really get to see that first up at Kembla in a race won by Kylise. She was back, she was widest on the turn, and it just wasn't the spot to be on the day. And she was only beaten 2 3/4 lengths in the end, but it was a much better run than it reads on paper, and as a result we are getting a slightly better price here than I think we should. Number 4, Seasons. Well, she'd been in the Quinella at her first 6 career starts. She'd had a long spell. She resumed at Kembla over 1,000 metres, and again she was caught 3 and 4 wide the trip. She was shunted even deeper on the turn, so it was a total forgive run, even though she was only beaten 2.5 lengths. I think she could be the big improver. Number 6, Kylise. Well, she's going to be the short price favourite here, and she's expected to lead. I just wonder whether she will be able to get out and lead Terminology, another very fast galloper from the Waterhouse Bott stable. And if those two happen to carve each other up in front, they will both be vulnerable late. So it's tactically going to be very interesting. The first, I'm going 8, 4, 6, 7. Race 2 at Randwick on Saturday. It's the Tab Highway. This week it's a Class 3, over 1,000 metres, run at set weights. I'm sticking with one of my trustees, Zardoro on top. He's been a little bit costly if you've been backing him straight out. He's been great if you're an each way or a place punter, but we want them to win. And I think he can win this race. There's a stack of speed over the 1,000, and even though it's a touch short for Zardoro, he'll get back. I think Tommy Berry will keep him deep throughout, hopefully find clear air at the top of the straight, and hopefully Zardoro's good enough to get home over top of them as the leaders begin to fade. Plenty of chances. Number 1, Field of Night. Another horse that will probably get back and run on. He's got a little bit better form than most of these. He won a highway here 2 starts back, and then he comes through a benchmark 70 at Canterbury recently where he ran 4th. He's going to need some luck though from the gate as well. Other chances in the race, and there are a heap of them. Number 11, More Euros. She's been in really good form of late. She's got a great record over the 1,000. And number 10, Made in Milan, a forgive run last start when stretched out to the 1250 at Canterbury. Prior to that, extremely sharp, winning at Corowa, and in particular, a 6-length win at Gundagai. Very competitive highway. My numbers, 2, 1, 11, 10. Race 3 at Randwick on Saturday. It's the Christmas Cup over 2,400 metres. Chris Waller dominates with numbers in this small field, and I think one of them can win, and I think it'll be High Bridge. He's not the favourite at Waller Runner, but I think he's the horse to beat over the 2,400. He hit the line hard late over 2,000 metres first up in the ATC Cup. The extra 400 will suit. Randwick will suit. He seems to go on all sorts of going, and second up with the form he had last prep, I'm leaning his way. Number 6, Capital Gain, the horse down from Queensland, just brings a different form line into this race. He's third up. He hit the line late over 2,000 second up, and I think he's the value knockout chance. Number 7, Miss Moana. We know what you get with her. She'll be up on speed. She's fit. She's in form. She stays all day. She'll be very hard to catch with the light weight. And number 1, Allwood, the favourite, in form, won his last 2 starts. Perfect ride by Hugh Bowman last start. Helped him win. Didn't make the win, but it certainly helped. And I just wonder whether he can possibly have as good a run again. My numbers in the Christmas Cup, 3, 6, 7 and 1. Race 4 at Randwick on Saturday. It's the Inglis Nursery over 1,000 metres. It's worth $500,000, and as usual, a good field, a progressive field of 2-year-olds. And I'm tipping the Peter and Paul Snowden trained Wild Thunder on top. Barrier 1's always a big plus in 2-year-old races, and this son of Schnitzel has come up with the prize draw. He's had 2 barrier trials. He's won both of them. His last trial win at Gosford, he did it from on pace. I don't think he has to lead this field and win. He'll probably end up taking a sit, 3rd, 4th, just behind the lead. And from what I've seen of him, he's still on the improve, very progressive, good type, and from the in-form 2-year-old stable of the Snowdens. Number 4, Already Blessed. I think he's good value by Better Than Ready. He showed blistering speed to win a Hawkesbury trial, and to my eye, he looked as though he would have run another furlong at least. That was an 800-metre trial. And from Barrier 2 with Rachel King in the saddle, I think he can actually lead them up here, and he didn't do much wrong in that trial. He looks a real professional little colt, and he should run well at the good odds. Number 1, Encountable, a son of Bull Point. He's been to the races once at Moonee Valley. He ran a good race there after getting a long way back. He's since been to the trials at Randwick with James McDonald in the saddle, and he looked really good winning that trial, and he was a lot handier in the run. Number 11, Dubai Star. Well, she's drawn right off the track here, which will make it tough over the 1,000, but her only start at Sandown was outstanding, and that was in a listed race. She's since been to the trials at Rose Hill, and she scorched turf in front to win that trial. Plenty of chances, terrific lineup of 2-year-olds. My numbers in the English nursery, 10, 4, 1 and 11. Race 5 at Randwick on Saturday, a benchmark 74 over the 1100, and what a field this is. This is one of the better benchmark 74s you will see. A lot of speed on paper, which leans me towards tipping a roughie in Nico Ladd for Team Snowden. He's first up from a spell. He's got great first up figures. He was a good thing beaten first up last prep. That was at 1200, so the 1100 may be a touch short on paper, but that's why we're getting the good price here. He certainly gets the right run from a soft draw. The tempo will suit, and I liked his trial coming into this behind Baller and Splintex. So I'm backing Nico Ladd each way at the big odds. Number 11, Superium. Well, he's got the form on the board. He was fourth in the Rosebud first up last prep. First past the post in the up and coming before having it reversed in the steward's room. And he's had a quiet trial coming into this, drawn perfectly. Nastrawilla takes the ride. Number 10, Zanaya for Chris Lees and Hugh Bowman. Well, she's 3 from 3 since transferring to Australia and transferring to the Chris Lees stable. She's come up with barrier 1. She's blessed with pace. She runs a bold race here, as does number 1, Embracer. He led throughout first up, gave nothing else a look in around Warwick Farm, and I expect he'll be there for a long way again here. So my numbers in the 5th, 5, 11, 10 and 1. Race 6 at Randwick on Saturday. It's the Razor Sharp over 1,200 metres. It's also the first leg of the quaddie. If you want my quaddie numbers, just stick around until the end of this spiel and I'll give those numbers to you. Here I'm tipping number 8 on top, Signore Fox for Team Snowden and Tommy Berry. He resumed from a break up at Doomben in a listed race over 1350, but from a wide gate, he was literally deep the trip, out the back, worked home very strongly. He was only beaten a length and a quarter, but it was a much better run than it reads in the form guide. Prior to that, he won over this track and distance at Randwick in a benchmark 88. And with the shape of this race, good speed up front, a bit of pressure, dry track, I think Signore Fox has all the factors he likes and he can get home over top of them. There are plenty of other chances. 3 Passage of Time, second up, blinkers back on, good draw. He loves the 1200. He'll be in this for a long way. Number 4, Glenall. Team Hawks have got him right back in the zone. 1200, some query, but I like the way he hit the line there last start in the Starlight. I think he probably should have won that race. And number 5, Multaja. She's just a back marker. She'll mind her own business, and if James McDonald gets the splits at the right time, she'll be there fighting it out late. My numbers in the Razor Sharp, 8, 3, 4 and 5. Good luck if you are going to play the quaddie at Randwick on Villiers Day. Certainly a quaddie that should pay well because most of these races are open and competitive betting affairs. These are my quaddie numbers. First leg, 8, 3, 4, 5, 1. Second leg, 14, 5, 2 and 7. Third leg, 6, 3, 8, 13 and 1. Final leg, numbers 10 and 2. Now, there are 200 combinations in that quaddie, so use the tab Flexi Betting option to best suit your budget. Good luck with your quaddie at Randwick on Saturday. Good luck with all of your bets on Saturday. Race 7 at Randwick on Saturday. It is the feature. It's the Villiers Stakes. It's run over the Randwick 1,600 metres. We've got a big field assembled, and as usual, this will be a great spectacle and a good betting race. I'm gambling here with backing Bobbing. Now, Bobbing is a horse who you've got to hold your breath. He gets a long way back. He needs a bit of luck, but boy, he can reel off some fast final splits. And if ever there's been a horse crying out for the Randwick Mile, I think it's Bobbing. He has won over the mile before. That was at Kembla Grange, so a nice big track to give him plenty of room to wind up. And his run in the Festival Stakes was the disguised performance. He found all sorts of bother. He flashed home late over the 1,500 at Rose Hill, and here he is on 53 kilos from barrier 3. If he gets the breaks, and he will need them, I think Bobbing can win the Villiers. Number 5, Quackerjack. He's the punter's pal. They're all over this Mark Newnham trained 4-year-old. And why wouldn't they be? He's come back in terrific form this prep. He hasn't missed a top 3 finish. He rarely runs a bad race. He makes his own luck up on speed. And there may be the scenario here that there isn't much pressure up front. And if that's the way this race unfolds, they're going to find it mighty tough to run down Quackerjack. Number 2, Goldfields, the visiting Victorian. He's won 3 of his past 4. He's an on-pace runner with Nastrawilla in the saddle from a lovely soft gate, and he excels on good tracks, so there's a lot in his favour. And number 7 I marked as the other chance in the race, Alive and Free. Tricky gate this start compared to his run in the Festival, but maybe he just needed that extra second up run and he could be peaking come the Villiers. My numbers, 14, 5, 2 and 7. Race 8 at Randwick on Saturday, a benchmark 88 over the 1,600 metres, so the same distance as the Villiers. I'm tipping Strome here for Gary Portelli. She's a mare in terrific form. She won with a huge finish at Newcastle 2 starts back, and of course that was on the Hunter Day. And then she went to Rose Hill last week over the 1400 and she rattled home behind the on-pacer Tory Joy. She came up just short, but she gets the extra 200 metres here. She's on the 7-day backup, and at the end of the day, she's a mare in terrific form and she races best on good track. So I think she can win. Number 3, the Main Danger, Turnberry. He just makes his own luck up on speed. He's drawn well. He'll be very hard to get past with the claim for Robbie Dolan, and he does excel at the mile. Number 8, Berdebeck, best roughie in the field, given a solid workout in a recent trial. That was over 1,200 metres. He edged out a horse called Mr. Dependable. He came out and won impressively during the week. I think John O'Shea has got this horse wound up for a first up tilt here at good odds. And number 13, our Winnie, she's a real knockout at massive odds. One day she'll get the breaks and she'll knock these over, but she is a bit of a heartbreak horse because she needs a lot of luck. My numbers in race 8, 6, 3, 8 and 13. Race 9 at Randwick on Villiers Day. It's a benchmark 78 over the 1400, and I'm really keen here on the Anthony Cummings trained Something Fast. Second up from a spell. His first up run was outstanding at Rose Hill over the 1100, chasing home Invictus Salute. He won second up last prep. He's only lightly raced. He won 3 of his 4 starts last prep, including a Randwick 1400. And with run of the race stuff here on paper, I'm really excited about his chances. Number 10, Something Fast, to beat the 2 face toss for James Cummings and Hugh Bowman. Gets back a little bit, needs a touch of luck, but he didn't get much at Flemington first up. He's been freshened. He's had a good trial at Rose Hill. And with a bit of speed on paper here, I think Face Toss will be very hard to hold out. Number 5, Echo Jet. Well, he'll be one of those runners up on speed. He's on the quick backup from last Saturday at Rose Hill where he led them up over 1,200. He stuck on really well, but the back markers got him late. He'll be hard to catch. And number 17 goes into the mix here as well. Petronius, he's got a horror gate to overcome, but his first up run behind Embracer, I thought it was outstanding, and he's had the 4 career starts now and never missed a top 2 finish. Good race to close out the card. My numbers 10, 2, 5 and 17.